first album that we're going to review is Wretch 32's new album, Home. This is, I don't know how many albums he's done, but...
I think it's his sixth one.
Sixth one. Wow. Sixth album. Yeah, man, it's here. I mean, he's been teasing it for what? A good 2-3 months now. And yeah, he's released videos, Black and British. He's released a lot of teasers, all that. And yeah, the album's finally here. It features a very stacked cast of features. Ghetts, Mercston, Kano, Little Simz, Weston, Teni, Skip Marley, Protoje, Benjamin AD, Cashh, shout out to Cashh, Angel, Skrapz, Allure, Nino, SLG, and Tiggs the author. And yeah, man, it's very much like an exploration of what it means to be Black and British through the eyes of Wretch and through the eyes of many people who think like him and the people that he represents, which are the Black communities. So yeah, we're about to get into it. Well, I'm the designated Wretch hater, so I'll let you man go first.
No, you should go first.
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, you should go first as a designated Wretch hater.
I don't mind.
We usually save the hater for last.
No,
I just thought it was a fucking great album, man. I really did. I really think it was, man. Like, I think it's definitely Wretch's best album, and I think one of the biggest takeaways I took from the album was like the fact that he's elevated from someone that was clearly skilled, rapping about being the best rapper. I think he's found a pocket to really like commentate and talk about our community, things that impact our community, things that could influence and inspire our community. And that's like, for me, that's just fantastic to see his maturation from what he was to where he is now, man. And I feel like this album, alongside the album that Bashy dropped, I think we're going to have some interesting conversations about them in a few years, man.
Yeah, conversations, Peter.
No, I wasn't even saying classic, but I think those albums are going to be really important for, I think, people trying to understand what it means to be Black and British.
I'll put Hoodies or Summer there too.
Okay. Different sort of vein for me though. Hoodies or Summer didn't feel as politically minded as those two albums.
It was though.
Okay.
It fully was. It was more so just the idea of like, not necessarily crime, but it's like commentating on what's going on the streets. So like knife crime, like that sort of thing. So there was that in there, but it wasn't like a whole.
I'm thinking of the wrong album. I think I'm thinking of the album before that.
Oh, Made in the Manor.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Made in the Manor. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Partner pieces.
Yeah.
Those three for sure.
I agree with you though. I think Wretch went from someone who was the nicest rapper, like just pen to paper, amazing. So what I done was I thought, let me go listen to his old projects to see the maturation process. So I went back to Retrospective, I went back to Teachers Training Day, I went back to Young Fire, Old Flame, him and Avelino, right? So I went back to Young Fire and Old Flame. So I just wanted to see how the distance between what he is then and what he was then and what he is now. I think Pete hit the nail on the head. The way now he could tell a story and not of just one single track. The way he goes from the start to the end and he's just telling you about how life is being young Black in England, how it is what you've got to live through, how it was growing up in Tottenham. And then as the album continues, it's just saying that, no, we're meant to be comfortable here. We've done XYZ here. We've done XYZ. And then at the end of it, where it's just like, I've made it, but like, I've shown you guys, you could get out of this and you could do whatever you want to do. And
do you know what's dope though? Sorry to cut you. I just think it's so interesting when like, someone like a Wretch can talk about like, not just what happens in his hood, yeah, but can really like dial into the Black experience here. I find that so fascinating, man, because I think we've experienced so many rappers, man, since we've been listening to rap, whether it's UK or the US, talking about what happens in their hoods, all the hood wars they go through, do you know what I mean, trials and tribulations and that. But there's something that feels a lot more important when you're a rapper, a Black British rapper talking about like Windrush, for example, or what it means to go from being rich to being poor and then navigating, you know, through that sort of lens as well. And yeah, man, that's sprinkled all over this album, man. Like I feel like Wretch, he dives into a lot of subjects that I want to hear from my rappers today. And I think that's probably why you man will continue to call me an old head, and probably why I won't listen to rappers that are a bit younger or maybe more modern rappers as much, because I think rappers like Wretch, they're seasoned now, innit? They've been in the game for a minute, they're older as well. And there are certain things that, because of how they've matured, they're now consciously aware of and things that they now want to talk about that I can more so resonate to. I can't really relate to a lot of the things that the younger rappers want to talk about. Not to say that it's not enjoyable, and not to say I won't even listen, but topics like what Wretch talking about on this album, the Bashies, the Kanos when they rap, even what Scorcher's doing, man, like, that's the sort of stuff that, like,
it's 'cause you're
that
older.
makes me love our
It's at the top,
scene,
it's
man.
at the
you're
top of your
older.
table.
Yeah.
It's at the top of the table for him. And that makes perfect sense. I think there's definitely a balance when it comes to taking in newer rappers who, are just giving you a vibe versus rappers that you've been listening to for a long time who are your favorite rappers who are actually maturing into becoming spokespeople for
Us.
issues, for us, for anything that that might appeal to you. So it definitely makes sense. And I think we're all that way inclined anyway. Like if there's an album from
I think you hold a really good balance to that, though.
yeah, I suppose so. But I also value each equally because they give me different things. I think when I'm listening to a Wretch album, I know there's probably going to be an attempt to try do like something vibey, but the meat is going to be substance. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be depth. It's going to be commentary. It's going to be this, that, and the other. And I know I'm going into that expecting that versus someone like anyone else who might not be that way.
Central C.
Like a Central C. I've always made it clear that I respect Wretch as a rapper, but his music hasn't always appealed to me. Whether it's because of production, whether it's because I felt like he was trying to do too much when it came to the messaging. Maybe he could have dialed it back a bit. Maybe he was too in himself as far as like trying to get across certain points in certain ways. But I feel like he got a really good balance of, being a spokesperson, talking to us, talking to our communities, and kind of just letting off with the raps on this album. I think it's his best album. I think it's very, 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 very good. I'd probably put it up there as far as like, to your point, like those rappers who are becoming of like a certain age that we grew up on, like him, like Kane, like Ghetts, like Bashi. The albums they're dropping now, I'd probably place this album like very high up in that, just because of the storytelling and the narrative as well. It's obviously exploring the relationship between, black people, black communities in Britain, the tenuous relationship there, the good, the bad, everything in between. But he's also speaking to us as far as like, what are we gonna do to get us out of the mentality that we seem to have about, wanting self-harm, wanting to destroy each other sort of thing. So as much as it's looking outwards to Britain and its perception of us, it's also looking inwards to like, what are we doing to uplift ourselves and make sure that we are, better as people. So obviously the rapping's at a very high level. The features were great for the most part. I think he had great chemistry with pretty much all of them. The production is really well done. I think it really helps curate the vibe. I think there's some of the best beats that he's rapped over, like ever. Very warm, very, very, very welcoming, but also can be very cruddy. I mean, look at 7-Seater. I think when it comes to like his Caribbean heritage, obviously he's always played into that. And I think it blends really well with the raps at this point. Yeah, man, he's always going to give you that balance of like introspectiveness on like the harder times of his life and just the lives of black people and the general struggle of people in his environment, but also blending that with the hopefulness of like better days and celebrating life as he sees it. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of feels like what he was trying to do on the last project, which was called Little Big Man, which I didn't enjoy, and the project before that, Upon Reflection, it kind of feels like he's managed to combine what he was doing on both of those and I guess deliver on this. And I think from the perspective of like ears for production, and I think the reason why I didn't enjoy those last two projects as much was probably the production, because it's never going to be the raps of Wretch, innit? Like he's rapping is just superb at this point, right? Like, and he's been superb from day in it. So it's never going to be that. So I think if I'm ever gonna have an issue with Wretch's albums, it's always going to be the sonics behind how he's delivering his verses and that, man. And yeah, man, to your point, yeah, I think the way he delivered on this album was like, yeah, man, it was just masterful, man. Sorry to cut you off, but I also feel like it just goes to show that this takes time sometimes. Yeah, like he is a vet, and we've known he's been rapping for a long, long time. But sometimes when it comes to like the artistic side of it, sometimes it does take a couple albums for it to really like lock in, for it to really like connect in a way. So you could have the raps and you might necessarily have the production. You might have the production and sometimes the raps aren't as good.
this is like the perfect example of like when it all comes together really well.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? So I think it just goes to show that even if you are a vet, we can still take time with you, and you can still take time with yourself because you're still maturing, you're still growing artistically.
And I think as a vet, man, I think you are afforded as much time as you need
100%.
because you've laid down the groundwork already, man. You've been in the game already. Like you're already established as someone that might be one of the greatest, if not the greatest. So you can take as much time as you need to deliver that next piece of art. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would hope that other OGs see this, see him, and I feel like, you know what? Yeah, I can take loads of time to deliver that next piece.
100%. They probably won't just because of the cycle of the times, and people do want to stay like relevant or whatever. But when it comes to that particular cohort of rappers that I've just mentioned, they'll take all the time that they need because they're just that way inclined. You know what I'm saying? And it just lends itself to great music. I think this, like from top to bottom, like a lot of these songs are just really, really good, man. And just the messaging as well. Like I think of a song like Bridges Burning.
That might be my favorite song on the album, man.
It's such a great illustration of like the confusion amongst us as black
man.
people that leads to actions that might harm us as a community. Like, am I my brother's keeper or keeping my brother stuck because I'm shutting my mother up and selling my brother grub? Like, that speaks to so much. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think it was done really, really well.
And I think there are undertones of how white supremacy can influence that as well, man, and impacts that, and even push us to a point where, we are turning on each other because of the conditions that we've grown up in and we've been forced into. Even though that's not said, I don't know, I feel that. I feel that with what Wretch is saying.
Yeah, but it's also suggested in that clip where he's talking about the police brutalizing someone and then just getting like a slap on the wrist. You know what I mean? So there is that undertone. I mean, it's an overtone at that point, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it all kind of blends together. But there's also pockets to where, like, he's talking directly to us, and he's also talking directly to the conditions that have made us in that sense. So that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Home Sweet Home, I mean...
Even the Dido flip.
Caught that as well.
The Dido flip was cold.
Yeah, I caught that too.
The Dido flip was cold.
That was on a tune with Skip Marley.
Like, all around, I just enjoyed it. And seeing our rappers get better, what is he, 40 now? I think he's
roughly.
Late 30s. Making your best album late 30s is insane, man.
It's great, man.
It's insane. Like, it's amazing. Like,
it's becoming quite common now, I feel like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it is becoming common for us anyway. It is becoming common.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not... Sorry.
I was going
to say, it's not even really like surprising, man, because I think, like, even just as men, I think we enter our, like, physical prime, if I'm not mistaken, in our mid-30s, and I think our mental prime will happen within that 35 to 40 period, innit? So it's not even surprising that rappers like him and Bashi are delivering what they are, man, at this point.
Yeah, I feel like...
You can see the growth, though. You can definitely see the... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, obviously we're all sports fans. I think sometimes music fans might apply the sport logic to music.
Which is mad.
In the sense of like, your prime years are probably between the ages of like 27
32.
to 32, if that. And really it doesn't work that way when it comes to music. I mean, the Rolling Stones are still touring and they're all 180 years old.
Do you think that's a rap thing, though? That's a rap thing, though. Where we put a cap on.
Probably. I mean, it's way more rap than anything else.
For sure.
100%. Because it's a young man's game,
Yeah,
right?
they say it's a young man's game, innit?
Exactly.
But I don't think it should be. It doesn't need to be.
They're proven otherwise.
Yeah, man.
Like the what these guys are doing at this age, it's just proving everyone wrong. Like,
but you know what I think?
Wretch,
people say the whole young man thing because you have rappers like Nas who came in the game at like 18, 19, 17 and drop Illmatic.
And also you had rappers say it. What did the game say to Jay-Z? You're 37 still rapping. So like, I think they put the thoughts off.
Do you think we had that over here as well though in the UK?
We couldn't have that had it here because we didn't have old rappers. When Wretch came out, who was an old rapper?
Probably Rodney P.
Rodney P in that.
That's what I'm saying.
But even
like,
he,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have 37, 36-year-olds making waves. It's only now that the youngest have oldest. I feel like anyway. I think when Wretch was coming out, we didn't really have. There was no establishment. There was no hierarchy.
This does feel like
now there's a hierarchy.
This does feel like the first generation, collective generation of like
the hierarchy
people in their late 30s, early 40s, of like
think,
just like being together.
I think it's the first. Yeah, I agree. But I think all around, I think what these guys were talking about in this album, and when I say these guys, I'm talking about the features. I think Kano had a bar when he goes, "We don't wear 3 lines in front of the rusters." Little stuff like that gets me. I'll be real, like that. Just that little bar there. It's like no 3 lines against the rusters. And I think he said that Bukayo Saka bar and then Marcus Rashford. So like, everything is just making sense here.
And the black and the white play on words at the end of the verse.
Come on, man. You say,
yeah,
like, Like allegedly, but like my point being,
It's not legend.
I said that to say like the rapping on the album was phenomenal, the storytelling was phenomenal, the deep lining messages behind it, even the what do you call it when he uses like he was just using bare. It's not interludes. You know when they just take real life.
Yeah, I'd call them interludes.
Are they interludes?
Yeah, I'd call them
Alright,
interludes.
cool.
Yeah.
Even the little interludes.
The clips.
Clips, but he was doing it in the middle of the songs.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
interludes more of when it's just like a 30, 40 second by itself.
Yeah, like the Nino.
Yeah, like the Nino,
True.
perfect. Or like in another song, I think he took another clip where the police are talking to something, and you mentioned it. That was amazing. Like, he didn't fail with any of them. He didn't fail with picking out any of them, and it all fit seamlessly.
One of those clips was Bob Marley too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he bodied them, and like I think honestly, I think the feature's done amazing. I think 7-seater is phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, man. I would have loved
Like,
a verse from
I know
Mercston,
you-
though,
yeah.
man. I would have. I
I thought he was
enjoyed him
gonna
on
say
the
someone
hook.
else. I thought he was gonna say someone else.
Who?
I thought he was gonna say you wanted a hook from first from someone else. I was like, I don't
Oh,
know.
nah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't.
never
you
gonna
know,
happen.
yeah,
No, but you know why I thought you was gonna say
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because of
especially
who's
after
in
what
it.
you said
Ghetts,
on the
Mercston,
song.
I was like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense. Him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know
No,
what it is.
Mercston I would have liked a verse from, man, because I just would have liked to have seen how he would have flowed on that, man. Even though we got a taste of that on the hook,
We did.
I don't know, man. It's different when you're like spitting.
Would have
innit?
given you that old school feel back.
Yeah, man, do you know what I'm saying, man. But him and Ghetts going back and forth, I loved that, man. What did that man say? Hold on, I think I wrote it down.
Because he said
What
we
did that
all-
man say?
That's the
Cause
closest
we
to a
all know-
movie.
Says for anybody's pen game, comprende? What?
Fam, didn't he have a bar
That,
when
yeah, man. Like, come on, that says it all, bruv. Like,
Did he even
any
have-
man that comes up in the UK now, fam, I'm your sensei, bruv. Your pen game is for me, bro. Me, bro. Us, man.
What was that bar he had when he goes, we all know who's selected in the top?
Yeah,
top three,
yeah,
top three
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
flipped gets his top three selected. It's like, this is cold, man.
Yeah, man.
This is cold.
Them
bro.
man were just they were floating
Like,
all
this
over
is
that tap
cold.
dancing all over.
But
that,
them two
man.
are like that, man.
Yeah.
Ghetts and Wretch at this point now is on some raw you can shit. Them two don't fail when they're together.
Word.
No, they don't fail when they're together.
Word,
they
man.
don't,
They don't,
man.
no.
Like I grew up on Inner the Ghetto, bro. This is 20 years later. Inner the Ghetto came out 05.
Words, man.
This is 20 years later, bro. I think it came out 05. I might be wrong. It came out maybe 06 or 07.
Is Wretch getting better?
Is Wretch. Wretch is musically getting better. I don't think lyrically. I think lyrically he's always
I
been.
don't know how he gets better though, man.
I think musically he's
I
getting
think
better.
this is
I
the
think
best
sonically
he's
he's
sounded
getting
in a
better.
long time.
I
though.
think
Actually, no,
so-
that's a lie. Let me take that back. Not the best he's sounded in a long time. I think it's just the best he's ever sounded.
This is what I'm saying.
But that's not lyricism to me though. I think sonically.
It helps.
I think
it's all of it.
I think sonically.
I even think it's how he delivers his bars, bro.
I think sonically. Actually, you know what he has gone better at? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. by the way. I think what he's got better is what you mentioned earlier. I think he always used to do this, the Caribbean and the UK music mix. I think he's now found a perfect mesh for that. Whereas before, I think it might sound out of place sometimes, or I get what he's trying to do, but it
You
never
think
really
so?
fit. Yeah, sometimes I didn't really like. What was that album?
Even Inner the Ghetto, songs like Inner the Ghetto, I thought that was perfect.
Inner the Ghetto was my favorite Wretch song
Yeah.
of all time, but. I think it might have been the album with the balloon cover and Spin Around or something.
3-2?
Yeah, where he tried it a couple times and I was just like, I'm not really feeling it.
It's interesting you say that because up until this album, I thought 3-2 was his best joint.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I really liked Growing Over Life. I think that was the album before.
That was a really good album.
That was a really good album.
But I think musically, this is the best I've ever heard Wretch. Lyrically, the only reason why I don't know if I'll say lyrically is because
He's always been up there,
yeah,
right?
I thought in 05.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I thought in 05 he's the best ever.
I get what you
So
mean.
if I think in 05 you're the best ever, no, I'm well, saying exaggeration.
Yeah.
I thought from Tiggs training day onwards, I thought Wretch is the best rapper the UK's ever had, and I've never swayed my opinion on that. So lyrically, if
Maybe
he's
it's
getting better, if he's getting better 20 years later, bro, this guy he's
maybe it's his delivery then. Because I feel like delivery
Yeah,
wise,
that's
as
a
far
good
as the way he
That's a good
delivers his bars on this album, it was second to none.
Do you feel like he raps less in a complicated way than previous albums? Because I don't know, man. There's something about
don't think
him.
Wretch ever
There's something about him being as nice as he is, yeah, but still simplifying. And I feel like maybe as he's gotten older, that's what he's doing. Because even on the 7-seater tune, like there's a bit in his first verse, yeah, where he's like, Tupac, keep your head up if it fits.
Yeah.
You know, capping in my era, grew up with different set of rules, diamond in the rough, but got disconnected with Jules. You were at the Last Supper with the goons. Ain't it funny how the goat becomes dinner for the wolves? I'm planning on building up my walls. I live above the rim. And like that's a whole pack thing in there. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just even like when I was listening to that,
It's a dirty
I was like,
scheme, by the way.
Shit.
It's a dangerous scheme.
But it didn't even sound complicated, bro.
Yeah, I know what you mean. 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there's credence to that. I do think he's recognised the power of simplifying it, and simplicity.
Do you think Wretch was complicated though? I've never thought Wretch was a complicated rapper to understand.
I always got him, and I liked complication.
But
but
I don't think he's ever been. I don't think he's ever.
But it's complicated in the same. Yeah.
He's never been the words connect. You know that the words connect. He's never been the.
But there was always a danger of that. In the same way, like I listen to Made in the Manor. I love Made in the Manor, but I can see why some people didn't like that because Kano is rapping differently to what he usually raps like. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more East End like colloquialisms in there that might have like put people off of a bit. And I feel like with Wretch, he had in the past been close to that territory of like just going a little bit too over people's heads.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like I don't get that feeling at all. Listen to this album at all.
Even with Kane though, I do think he's rapping differently. I feel like how he's delivering his lyrics feels a lot different to how he used to rap. And
Absolutely.
And when I hear it, I can tell you what it is, but I can't. It's difficult to articulate. But I know when I hear it though.
I think he's slowed down. I think he's slowed down.
Maybe it's that. And I think he's become a bit more complex actually.
He lets his words breathe now. I think Kano's issue for me before was I could always understand what he's saying, but sometimes he didn't let his words breathe. Do you get what I'm saying? Where it's just
his flow was a bit too skippy.
Yeah, it was. Whereas now, I think he just might sound like I'm oversimplifying it, but I just feel like he's slowed down the way he
similar
raps
to
now.
Ghetts.
Yeah.
Ghetts was skippy. Do you know what I'm saying? But now
There's
he's
no
like,
introductions needed.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
Yeah,
and I mean,
chain swinging. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? But he's
it's just like loose in it.
But Ghetts says, I don't know, man. He's like he's mastered a way of remaining lyrical
100%.
and slowing it down though. It's like they've placed more emphasis on delivery. And I don't know how he's done that.
Which is important, man.
But he still sounds superb though.
But it could have just been a UK thing where we just used to rap
like fast.
Yeah, there's certain like Ghetts
intense.
did it. Kano did it. I think it's intense is the better word I'm looking for. Maybe it's not the flow. Maybe it's just the intensity in which they're rapping. Where it's like
maybe
I need to try to get as much as I can.
Yeah.
And the older
also just learning different pockets as well. Learning different pockets, learning different styles, and encapsulating that.
Yeah.
Kano's
Ghetts perfect example. Kano's perfect example. I think Wretch is a perfect example here as well.
It can't be coincidence that all of these guys are getting better.
It's mad.
It just can't be a coincidence. There has to be something to where, you know what it is? I think they just, I guess time's your best friend. You learn as time goes on.
And I think we're all becoming more like, as a black community, as a community, we're all becoming more conscious too, man. And how is that not going to influence some of our greats? How is it not, man? I can't see how it wouldn't.
Because we're still the first generation, depending on where you're from, but I think a lot of us are the first generation here.
And we're still living through quite a lot as well. Do you know what I mean? Like the Windrush scandal was like a few years ago where it was seeming as though like a lot of people that came over Windrush documents were lost. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're living through that. And then Wretch, obviously what he experienced with his dad, which was like publicly documented, where, do you know what I mean? Like whatever happened. Like, so we're living through stuff. So yeah, I'll be surprised if, you know, our rappers ain't going to reflect the times that we're in.
I agree.
And I think when it comes to this album, you have Home Sweet Home, you have Black and British, you have Windrush. That's like such a strong 3-album arc that speaks to all of this.
Yeah, man.
Black and British, I didn't necessarily like it when it first came out.
You like the video?
But not really. But respectfully. And then in the context of the album, it clicked. It clicked. And love the beat, love what he's talking about. Everybody did their thing. Obviously, Home Sweet Home, we've spoken about.
Yeah.
Windrush was great as well.
Big up Cashh, man.
Big up Cashh.
Friend of the pod.
Big up Cashh.
Big up Cashh for that as well.
He was perfect for that song, man. Considering his experiences as well. Like, there was, I don't know, man, there was a bit more talking, just going back to what we were talking about before we started this segment about believability. Like, we know Cash's experiences, like, that's documented in it. So there was a bit more of a gravitas to that song because someone who experienced that shit is rapping about that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just brilliant, man.
Yeah, and Wretch as well, like that believability, because he's been through stuff as well, it obviously lends to it. And these are issues that mean so much to him, not only as a black man, but as someone who's actually been in the front line.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to hold you, man, bro. Wretch said, the writing's on the wall, that's why we in the pen sentenced. Are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Let that breathe.
The writing's on the wall, that's why in the pen sentenced. I said, what?
But you know what, Phil, for me, like on Black and British, man, there's something that really like kind of encapsulate a huge part of my Black British experience, man. When he was like on Black Boy Lane, I was caught on my own. He told me to go back to my country. I thought I was home. Guess I was wrong. Do you know how deep that is, though? Because I'm sure we've all experienced that. I know I have. I've been in fights in areas where I've been told, yo, go back to where you're from, get out of my country. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how real that is? Where you've born here, you were brought up here, as well as the fact that, yeah, cool, I've got ties in Nigeria, in and out and that, but like, being here is pretty much all we've really known.
You know what's cheap?
And to still not feel like this is home.
And Black Boy Lane's in Tottenham.
I was going to ask you, is that a real
so
place?
Black Boy Lane. I used to get pizza from Black Boy Lane on a regular, by the way.
Right.
Shout out to Tops Pizza in Black Boy Lane. But yeah, Black Boy Lane's in Tottenham. You've been there. It's literally just past.
I swear.
You've been there. Me and you. It's literally just past Seven Sisters. Just
On what
past
other
Seven Sisters.
podcast would you get such amazing Tottenham knowledge? Carry on.
But yeah, no, Black Boy. That's because when I heard it, I was like, wait, that happened in. You know when you're like, hey, that happened there.
Right.
It's like, bro, they had to change. For what it's worth, they had to change the name last year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they changed it. It's not called Black Boys Lane anymore.
Okay.
But
Fairs. Didn't he have a bar like something like when we came here? Our dreams were painted in gold, but it was like Keep Britain White was painted on the walls or some shit, something like that, something to that effect. But yeah,
he's a
it just speaks to the constant internal like, am I black and British? Am I black British? What does it mean to be black and British? What does it mean to be
Am I
black
black
British?
and living in England?
Encapsulates that so well, and that's something that like from the Windrush generation onwards has just been like a constant thing for our communities. And yeah, man, he encapsulates it so well, man.
Can I ask you man a question?
Go on.
On Me and Mine, how do you think he did?
On Me and
Answer
Mine.
him
Mine.
talking about what's going on. Because
I didn't. That was probably the one song I didn't enjoy.
Me and Mine, the way I looked at Me and Mine was him talking about what everyone's talking about. I could be wrong though.
He had a line about that in Fields though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
He did.
But I think Me and Mine was, I think that's the closest he's ever going to get to talking about.
I might have missed that
situation
because
with
that.
Scorcher.
Yeah, I might have missed that because that was a song I didn't enjoy.
Okay, cool. But at the end of it, he even goes, I think, what did he think it was? I'm trying to protect it. Something about the wall of China, like essentially I'm closing this all off from the war to see we keep staying in our own tunnel, whatever. But I think that's the closest we're going to get to her. So I just thought, let me ask you, man.
I guess he did it in his own Wretch way, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think he kind of like touched on it in Phil's on the last song on the album, man, which is one of my favorite songs on the album as well. And I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion on that situation, man. That situation is that situation, isn't it? But I think for him to, I guess, sprinkle it in his music, he's an artist, right? He's gonna express himself, you know, based on his experiences, based on what's happening around him. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen like different comments on YouTube and that where people have been like, yo, he's been criticised for it essentially. But as an artist, man, like, you know,
It's their business, man.
yeah, man, like he's gonna express
Yeah,
himself.
well, it's that and the way he spoke to ZZ Mills about it as well, which
Right.
left people not very convinced about anything really. But you know, it is what it is.
I ain't paying attention. No, I'm talking about music, man.
No, it is what it. Yeah,
so,
that's
but-
fair. If
yeah.
there's one tune I didn't enjoy too tough, Peace and Love.
Oh,
Yeah,
You didn't like Peace and Love?
I didn't really,
love Peace
I didn't
and
really
Love.
like
You
Peace
didn't like
and
Peace and
Love. You know what it was? I didn't like Skrapz' verse was great, and I think he's just one of the smoothest out, right?
You Skrapz?
Yeah. Shout out to Jules on the beat. The beat was cool. I guess I didn't really vibe with what Wretch was trying to do on it. Like I didn't really care for it. So it didn't really make for a great tune overall.
was it a bit too mellow for you?
No, I just think the singing, the verse itself, the kind of half sung verse. Yeah, it wasn't really for me.
Right.
The mellow stuff is fine, but yeah, I guess he was like a low light of it. But
I actually really enjoy when he kind of gets into his singing, rapping type bag. To be honest with you, I think he does that really well. There's a smoothness that he kind of delivers when he does it, man. So I'm not mad at it. To be honest.
yeah, I think generally as a rapper, singer, as a whatever you want to call him, he's decent.
Yeah.
And he does it a fair bit on this album, and for the most part, I enjoy it. Just that one, I didn't really enjoy that much.
Yeah.
But I would have loved on any of these tunes. I would have loved something from Bashi. Like especially when it comes to like maybe Black and British or Windrush or whatever.
Man. Yeah,
He would have been perfect
yeah.
for this
Yeah.
album. He would have been perfect.
I didn't even think that, but you're right. Though.
Yeah, man.
Bashi was...
Because I feel like those two albums in particular, this album and Bashi's album in particular, like you could literally like put them together.
Close proximity, though, innit? Like,
Yeah,
it was
man.
only released like months apart, right?
But he's right, though. If Rashi was on Windrush, bro...
Yeah. I do wonder if Bashi's album influenced this album in any way. I'm curious about that.
It must have.
I don't know if it did. And the reason I said that, I think it's what you said earlier. I think they're getting older. Black, British. I think collectively, as we're all getting older, I think we're all in the same mind. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us are in the same mindset of what it is to be here, living here, what we've gone through. I think I
He
think we're just
definitely
seeing
would
a
have heard that
match.
album first, though.
What'd you say?
He definitely would have heard Bashy's album.
100%.
Like,
No, he influenced it, but I think he might have already been going along this way. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I think they're in that mindset of where, as we get older, we talk about this just amongst ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what they're doing in real time. I think as they get older, I think we're going to start seeing it more in our artists in the UK as they get older, and just the Jay-Z 444 route maybe, where it's just you get older, you don't want to still be talking about the same thing you did at 22 at 40 years old. You just don't want to, and I think we're seeing that in our artists, which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at it at all, man. That's my pocket completely, innit? So
I mean, if there is one person's pocket, it'll be yours.
I'm here for all of that, man. we didn't talk on this, but I really enjoyed Like Home with Teni as well, man. That's my sort of like love song. Do you know what I mean? It's vibey, but it's smooth at the same time, man. But it's heartfelt, like it's not corny. Like I think love songs, like if done like, you know, wrongly, can be very corny, man. And I feel like Wretch, he's brilliant at like Wretch, Wale, like they're really good at kind of stepping into that realm of heartfelt music where they're talking to women or like loves in their lives and that. I think it was done like excellently.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good tune.
Teni sounded great on it as well.
Yeah, if I'm just gonna say my fave tracks, Transitional Chapter, 7CR.
You even talk about that.
Yeah, Transitional Chapters.
It's a phenomenal start.
Yeah. And then the 3-track sequence: Home Sweet Home, Windrush, Black and British. For me, man.
For me, I probably got 7CR. I'm gonna pick 5. 7CR, Bridges Burning, Black and British. Is that 3?
Yeah.
Windrush. This is tough.
What are we picking? Our 5 bits?
I'm gonna probably go for Peace and Love.
First?
Yeah.
I'm going for 7CR, Transitional Chapter, Home Sweet Home. I fuck with Nesta Marley, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I vibe to Nesta Marley.
Yeah.
Man. I think the dido bit there and they're flipping it, I think it was amazing. And I want to go with Windrush as well. But I have to add Black and British, so charge it to the game. The only reason why I say that is because I didn't want to leave out Nesta Marley. Like I really like when, I love when artists do flips sometimes, especially if it fits. And that one there, and then also having Nesta Marley on it as well. And I think he had Bob Marley at the end of it. I think if I'm not mistaken, was it?
But then, but then he had the clip of.
Yeah, he had a clip of Bob Marley at the end. So, bruv, like, phenomenal, man.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I mean, big up Wretch. Fantastic album.
You are the GOAT.
Keep growing, keep elevating. Thank you. Yeah, man. Big up.
Yeah, listen. What?
I just want to hear what you got to say.
No, listen, man. Much respect to Wretch. I think this is a really good body of work. He's always been capable, but I just feel like in the last few albums, maybe he lost his way a little bit. But I think this is a really good return to form, and I think when you speak on something that means so much to you, it can come out really, really good musically. And I think this is the result. That's what this is. So big up to Wretch for it, man. I look forward to running this back. Another thing about this album, like, it is very replayable.
Oh yeah,
it is very replayable. So yeah, man. Topics this heavy, more often than not, aren't the most replayable. But no, he definitely has one of those. So I look forward to, running it back and what happens next, man. So yeah, big up to Wretch.
I just want to say, me personally, phenomenal album, phenomenal. I don't know why you're laughing.
Because he's loving this, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
as the resident Wretch guy, the resident Tottenham guy, he's loving this,
it's a victory
man.
lap, isn't it?
This is going to his argument that Wretch is the GOAT, right?
Yeah, I guess.
As you can see, I've never doubted Wretch. Since I've been on this podcast, I've said Wretch is a GOAT. He is the undisputed GOAT. And all this has done is further prove it. It's another Ballon d'Or on 5 Ballon d'Ors.
Sorry.
Shut your mouth. I don't make the rules. I'm just following them. Tottenham does it again. I say this after every time. Avellino dropped, I said we've done it again. Wretch dropped, I've said we've done it again.
Name his fan.
Oh, wait, hold on. On that point, I'm surprised Avellino was on the... Yeah, I'm curious about that. I think I would have loved that. It would have been a great touch, considering the last joint that Avellino did.
Yeah, it's actually mad because he was all over that album, wasn't he, behind the scenes. But I say that to say, don't edit this out. I say that to say, we've done it again. N17, N15, Tottenham, the greatest era of all time when it comes to rappers. Salute to Wretch. And don't edit it out. The greatest ever. Messi. R9. Ronaldinho. Wretch 3-2.
Big 7-seater pulling out in traffic, erratic. Yeah. Man try ting the nest, so I got shh.